Welcome to Diet with Celestine. Here on Diet with Celestine, we turn research evidence into real eating habits. I'm your host, Dr. Celestine Mensah. I did a previous video where I was showing you calculation of protein. The comments I had showed that a lot of people were not able to follow the calculation. Now let me show you another strategy of knowing how much you need to eat without any calculation or without weighing your food. Now look at your palm. Research shows that our palm has a relationship with how much food that we need. So for Ghanaians, most of our food that are swallowed and then are in bowl. When you have a feast like this is how much of the carbohydrates you need. So if you have banku, you just need a feast. Your feast may be bigger than mine. So if your feast is bigger than mine, it means that you need more food than I need. And if your feast is smaller than mine, you need little food than I need. So when you have your plate, your banku or your fufu or your emutu or your tuwo zafi should just be like your feast. Okay, so apart from the carbohydrates, we also need proteins. Now look at your palm. The amount of protein you need is just a palm size like this. That is where we use the matches box to measure. So you look at your palm. How much of the matches box will you gain from your palm? Mine will be about 3 or 4, so 3 to 4. Some people will have about 4, some will have 3, some will have 2. So just look at your palm. Your protein need is about this size, whether fish or meat. If it's meat, make sure you are removing all the fatty parts. And the bones is not part of the estimation we are doing. And then the head too is not part. The fish or the meat itself is what we are talking about. Now, we finished talking about the carbohydrates and the protein. What about the vegetables? So if you have a plate, whether your vegetable is in stew or in soup, the ideal thing is to have half plates of your vegetable. So if you have a plate like this, usually we use flat plates. You don't want to use big plates to give you the impression that the food you are eating is not adequate. So if you have a plate like this, just divide into 2. And half is the amount of vegetables you need. It can be in stew, it can be in soup. Put more vegetables in your stew or in your soup, and then the quantity should be as much as half of your plate. So for the feast of the carbohydrates you have, you put it here, and then the palm size of your fish or your meat should be here. And that is how much of food you need within a day. So you need this amount in the morning, this amount in the afternoon, this amount in the evening. Then in between, you can eat a piece of fruit or a piece of vegetable if you like. If your carbohydrate is bread and you just have a slice of bread that size and you have a butter or a margarine to add, the amount you need is just a thumb of fat, okay, for each plate you are taking. So your margarine or your butter shouldn't exceed this size for yourself. So the ideal thing is that we don't want to keep saying eat in moderation, and then people are under eating their protein, or they are overeating their carbohydrates, or they are under eating their vegetables. That is why I have shown you this. There is an allowance for other people. So for people who are sick and need more of the protein for repair of tissues, they may need more of the protein. And for people who are athletic and will need more carbohydrates, or people who work hard like construction workers, they will need more of the carbohydrates. So make adjustments to these quantities I've shown you. Let these quantities be your baseline, and then make the estimates around it. Thank you very much for watching me. Share the video to your friends and families.